let's get to the here and now with you and your team and the Woj bomb, as it is said in our profession, about a conversation that Ben Simmons reportedly had with the franchise, and you are part of said franchise as the head coach, that he never intends to put on a Sixers uniform again. Is that what he told you, Doc Rivers?
Well, he didn't say it in that word, but it's so, it's funny, Rich, for us it wasn't much of a bomb because we already knew it, but for the world it was. I guess the world, that's being making us feel like we're a lot more important than what we really are. But for sports fans, it was. But that doesn't mean that's going to happen, Rich. You've been around sports long enough for guys, I'm never coming back. I don't want to come back. And then the next thing you know, they're back. And so, we don't take it lightly. We do understand the frustrations. We understand, and you understand this when you're in sports and you have your dream of winning something and it doesn't happen for you, the mental toll that takes on you and each individual. And so this has happened more than we know, than you know, I would say. But, yeah, so we don't take it lightly, but we intend to get Ben back, and we wanted to have him back.
Well, in terms of that, Doc, what did he say were the issues? Now, many of them are completely obvious. I mean, the fans' reaction to his playoff series, and of course, him not dunking a ball and passing it was sort of a microcosm of whatever potential problems he was having or going through.
I mean, I think it's all that, but it's funny. Like that one play got so much play, and people forgot that he did make a pass, and Matisse got fouled. Matisse missed one and made one free throw. So that play was it cost 1 point. You know what I mean? We didn't come up empty on that play. Having said that, I'm not going to get into all the things that he voiced. A lot of it was past stuff that, happened years ago. Obviously, the frustration on how, just things went during the playoffs. But one of the things I kept reminding Ben of, and I remind fans of, is that Trae Young was 5 for 24 in Game 7. He wasn't 5 for 24 because no one was guarding him. He was 5 for 24 because Ben guarded him. And Ben has a value, Rich, to the team that is not as obvious as being a great scorer. It's so easy to look at a guy, he had 30 points, and you can equate that value to the team. It's very difficult to see the value that Ben Wallace has, or Dennis Rodman has, or Charles Oakley has, or Ben Simmons has on the team because he doesn't score as natural as some of the great guys, but he does so many other things for our team.
But what about the statement that, again, this is one of the many reasons why I'm bringing them up to you, is because these are what's being discussed in the media and certainly being reported, that your comment after Game 7, when asked a direct question in your post-game press conference of whether Simmons could be a point guard on a championship team, your response was, I don't know how to answer that right now, and that is apparently what he is so pissed about.
Yeah, but that's a great example, and Rich, we've known each other a long time.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever said that's a great example of the media misleading something I'm saying.
Okay.
But I'm going to say that. And I said that if people didn't even take it the next day. What I said was it was the first question after Game 7. And I said exact words, guys, I'm not answering that question. I don't even know how to answer that question right now. I was answering the question, not about Ben, that I was saying that the question was stupid. and so I'm not answering that. It had nothing to do with Ben. And what was disappointing is everyone on that call, on that Zoom call, because that's what we do after games, knew that's what I was talking about. And then the next day, this thing takes its own life. And you know me, I don't get out and I'm not going to call people, that's not what I said. But I had the opportunity to do it now, and I'm doing it. And it's obvious. All you have to do is go back and play it. What's been reported that I meant wasn't true. And I said it the next day after that. I said, I absolutely believe we can win a world championship with Ben Simmons.
And just the last one on this subject for you, Doc. I mean, you've been around the block many times, certainly in the Northeast. Even if you and Ben Simmons or the franchise and Ben Simmons can get together, and Ben's issues that he has can be bridged in the same way, look, at Green Bay did with Rodgers. I mean, it was the same thing throughout the offseason. Yeah. You as a Bears fan, I'm sure you were rooting for the other result with Rodgers not showing back up in Green Bay. But, it can happen. What about him with the fans? It just seems that the fans, and I that was my assessment, Ben Simmons is a terrific player, but in Philadelphia, he's maybe no longer a viable athlete there. How do you do with that?
Viable if you win. I listen. I protected Ben all year as far as with the fans and this crazy narrative somehow they have about him. Ben's terrific. I know that. Our players know that. But the only way to quiet the fans is we have to win, and that's. But listen, I don't want to get too dramatic here, but isn't that what makes sports great? Like every year, Chris Webber's speech in the Hall of Fame was phenomenal because he talked about not ever winning a title, but having the opportunity every year, each year after I don't win the title, to come back and lace my shoes up and try to do it again and answer the critics and face the fire and put yourself out there. That's what makes sports so great, because when you actually are able to pull it off, you realize two things: how hard it was is the one thing, which I don't think people appreciate, how hard it is to win. And so then the second thing is that you can face the fire and go through it. And that's what makes it great. So, yeah, that's the only way to quiet them, Rich, is by winning.
So where does everything stand right now? What's your game plan here, if it is in fact true as part of the Woj bomb that there's been no communication since he told you his intention to stay away from training camp?
Well, there's been no communication over the last couple of weeks, but we still talk to his agent. Several players still talk to Ben. I always look at, you use Aaron Rodgers as an example. I remember the Spurs trading Sean Elliott, and the physical failed. He said, I'll never play again there. He comes back, and they win the title together. So, as you know, and I know, things can change, but we just got to keep communicating and getting through to them, and maybe we can change. And then the other part of it is Ben does have a 4-year deal. So this is all really in the team's hands on what we want to do, and we're just going to do what we feel is right for the team. And I think that's the most important part.
And that is to keep Ben Simmons right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Right now.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.